Hi, come on in. It's Dana. Here's a funny thing that happens to a lot of us after 60. You finally own the right bottles: the cleanser, the moisturizer, the sunscreen, maybe a serum somebody swore by at the checkout or raved about in a comment section. They are all lined up there on the shelf looking very official. And you still stand in front of the mirror in the morning, half unsure. Which one goes on first? Does the serum go under the cream or over it? Does this particular one belong to the morning or the night? Am I meant to put sunscreen on before my moisturizer or after? And if I use that retinol my daughter keeps telling me about, when on earth does that go in? Nobody ever sat us down and taught us any of that. They sold us the bottles and left us to guess at the order, and the order, it turns out, is about half the whole game. Because here is the truth that took me a genuinely long time to learn. You can own perfectly good products and get almost nothing from them simply because you are layering them wrong or because you are using the daytime ones at night and the nighttime ones in the morning. It is not that you have been careless or slow. It is that the industry has been very, very happy to sell you a 10th bottle and has never once sat you down and explained the simple, honest logic underneath all of it. Well, I am not a dermatologist. I want to say that plainly, right now, in the first 60 seconds, because it matters. I am not a dermatologist, and I am not going to pretend to be one. I am just the friend who spent 30 odd years obsessed with this, finally sorted out the order for her own shelf, and watched everything she already owned start to actually work. What I am going to share with you today is what dermatologists genuinely recommend, translated into plain English, by someone who has tried it on her own 60 something skin: a short morning routine that defends your skin against the day, and an even shorter evening one that lets it repair overnight. Not 10 steps, a handful of the right things in the right order, morning and night. That is the whole promise. Stay with me and maybe grab a pen, because by the end of this, you will have the exact morning order and the exact evening order laid out clearly, every step with a real drugstore price, and most useful of all, the simple reason behind why each thing belongs to the day or the dark. Once you understand the why, you will never have to guess at that mirror again. There is a screenshot moment near the end, so keep watching for that. And I will tell you now, because I want it said at the start. Nobody paid me a penny for any of what I am going to recommend. I bought every jar myself. Some of them I loved. One or two let me down, and I will tell you about those too. That is the only way I know how to do this. Also, drop the shame at the door. If you have been muddling through for years, unsure of the order, reaching for the wrong thing at the wrong time of day, that is not you being slow or careless. That is you being a normal human being in a world that profits from your confusion. Nobody handed you instructions. Your skin is not the enemy, it just needs a kinder hand now and a little bit of order. Let me give you both. So before I walk you through a single product, let me give you the one picture that makes the whole thing obvious. Because once this picture is in your head, you will never forget it, and you will be able to place any new product you ever buy. Think about getting dressed on a cold morning. You put your thin things on first: your blouse, your light cardigan. Then the heavier layers go over the top, and your coat goes on last, right before you step out the door. You would never put your coat on and then try to wrestle a blouse on over the top of it. That would be absurd and it would not work. Skincare layers in that very same way, and this single idea is the golden rule the whole thing hangs on: thinnest to thickest. The wateriest, most liquid things go on first, right against your skin. The heavier, creamier things go over the top of those. And your sunscreen in the morning? Your sunscreen is always the coat. It goes on last, over everything, because it needs to sit right on the surface to do its job. Get that one image: clear, thinnest first, thickest last. Sunscreen is the coat, and you already understand about 90% of every skincare routine you will ever encounter at any price point. That is not an exaggeration. That is genuinely how simple the underlying logic is. Now, let's dress your skin for the morning. The whole job of the morning routine is one word: defense. You are getting your skin ready to go out and face the sun, the wind, whatever the day throws at it. Everything in the morning works in service of that one goal. So, step one, cleanse and gently. Genuinely, if your skin is dry, and after 60, a great many of us are running significantly drier than we used to be because we are producing less of our own natural oils, you do not actually need a foaming wash first thing in the morning. Your skin did its cleaning up overnight. Warm water and your two clean hands is entirely sufficient and often kinder than any product. If you do like to wash a gentle fragrance-free cleanser, something like CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser or Cetaphil Gentle Skin Cleanser, both of which run around $8 to $12 at any drugstore cleans without stripping, what you are feeling for afterward is soft, not squeaky. Squeaky is not clean. Squeaky means you have stripped your skin of the oils it genuinely needs, and you will spend the rest of your morning trying to put them back. Soft is the goal. Step two, and this is the optional one. So here the word optional is your thinnest treatment if you choose to use one. In the morning, the treatment that earns its place is a vitamin C serum. Just a couple of drops patted gently onto your face before anything heavier goes on. Now, let me explain why vitamin C belongs to the morning specifically, because this is exactly where the day versus night logic begins to matter. Vitamin C is an antioxidant. Think of it as a quiet little bodyguard standing between your skin and the environmental damage the day brings: the UV exposure, the pollution, the free radicals that chip away at your skin's collagen over time. It actually works alongside your sunscreen rather than replacing it, helping to neutralize the damage that gets through. That is a daytime job. It belongs in the morning, under your sunscreen, doing its defending while you are out in the world. But I will be completely honest with you. The way a real friend should be, vitamin C is a nice to have, not a need to have. The three things that truly matter in the morning are the cleanser, the moisturizer, and the sunscreen. If money is tight, or if you simply want to keep it minimal, skip the vitamin C with a completely clear conscience and move straight to step three. A good vitamin C serum, something like the one from La Roche-Posay, runs around $40. If you do use one, check that it has a stable form of vitamin C L-ascorbic acid or ascorbyl glucoside and store it away from direct light because vitamin C oxidizes and goes off in the sun, which is a little ironic. Step 3. Your moisturizer. The thicker layer going on over the thin serum, just as a cardigan goes over a blouse. And here is a tiny technique that does more than most people realize, and it costs nothing. Put your moisturizer on while your face is still just a touch damp from the rinse. A slightly damp surface traps a layer of water underneath the cream, and that simple free move does more for your hydration than switching to a more expensive jar. The moisturizer I come back to again and again for mature skin is the CeraVe Moisturizing Cream, the big tub, about $17, and the reason is specific. It contains ceramides, which help repair the skin barrier that thins as we age. It contains hyaluronic acid, which pulls moisture into the skin, and it contains niacinamide, which helps calm redness and even tone over time. Three things mature skin actually needs in one honest drugstore jar on damp skin. That is your whole moisture step, and it does not need to be more complicated than that. Step 4, and this one matters more than every other step you will ever take. Combine sunscreen every single morning. Rain, shine. Cloudy days? Because UV rays come right through cloud cover and glass. Indoors by a bright window too, because UVA rays, the ones that break down collagen and cause those brown spots, pass straight through window glass all year round. You want a broad spectrum SPF 30 or higher, and it goes on last, over your moisturizer, because it needs to sit on the very top of everything to form its protective layer properly. The American Academy of Dermatology has said it plainly and consistently for years. Daily sunscreen is the single most effective anti-aging step you can take. Not the vitamin C serum, not the retinol, not the $90 cream with the impressive ingredient list. The sunscreen applied every day without fail. A good drugstore mineral sunscreen, Elta MD, La Roche-Posay and Thelios, or Neutrogena's mineral options runs somewhere between $13 and $25. If you hate the white cast that some mineral formulas leave, look for a tinted version. They blend beautifully on mature skin tones and give a lovely, soft finish with no white film. And when you have finished your face, take whatever is left on your fingertips and carry it down your neck and over the backs of your hands, both of which see as much sun as your face does and almost never get the same attention. And that is your entire morning. 4 steps. Cleanse gently, an optional vitamin C if you like, moisturizer on damp skin, and your coat of sunscreen. Thin to thick sunscreen last. Defense for the day. Let me stop you for a second, because now the sun goes down and at night, everything genuinely changes. Understanding why is what finally makes the whole split click. Your skin does its real repair work overnight while you sleep. It is not defending against anything, it is rebuilding. And there is a very real reason the night routine matters as much as it does. While you sleep, your skin loses water more quickly than it does during the day. Dermatologists call this transepidermal water loss, and it quietly peaks in those nighttime hours, which is precisely why a good moisturizer in the evening earns its keep, sealing moisture in while you rest. Your skin also does the bulk of its cell renewal in the dark hours, cycling out tired old surface cells for fresh new ones underneath. So the evening is not simply the morning routine repeated in the dark, it is when the real rebuilding happens. And your one job at night is to hand your skin a clean, calm, well moisturized surface and then get out of the way. The night routine has a completely different mission from the morning one, and that is the entire reason certain ingredients belong to the dark and not the light. Step 1 at night. You cleanse for real to take the entire day off the sunscreen, any makeup or tinted SPF, the day's dust and grime, all of it. Same gentle cleanser. And let me spare you from an extra step that somebody is always trying to sell you. You do not need to double cleanse. That trend came from skincare routines designed for young skin wearing heavy, long wear stage makeup. One gentle wash, massaged in for a full 30 seconds, and rinsed with warm water, takes the day off a 60-year-old face just fine. You do not need a cleansing balm, a micellar water, and then a second foaming wash. You need one good cleanser and clean hands. I will tell on myself here for a moment, because I got this exact thing badly wrong for years, and I know I am probably not the only one. For longer than I care to admit, I had it in my head that sunscreen belonged first, closest to the skin, and so I would put it on right after my rinse in the morning and layer my moisturizer on top of it, which is precisely backwards. My sunscreen was sitting under a thick layer of cream, unable to do what it needed to do on the surface. And then at night, I was reaching for my vitamin C, a morning antioxidant, and rubbing it into my face before bed when it had nothing useful to defend against in the dark. I honestly could not understand why nothing I owned seemed to be working. It was not the products, it was me, dressing my skin in the wrong order and at the wrong time of day, for years. The morning it finally clicked thin to thick, sunscreen always last, defend by day and repair by night, every single thing I already owned started pulling its weight. I did not buy a single new jar, I just changed the order and the timing. Step 2 at night, and this is the true repair workhorse. The ingredient that genuinely belongs to the dark is a retinol. This is the ingredient that dermatologists consistently call the gold standard for aging skin, because unlike almost everything else on a drugstore shelf, retinol actually does something measurable. It encourages your skin to produce a little more collagen over time and accelerates the rate at which it cycles through surface cells, which is why skin can look brighter and feel smoother with consistent use. That is, repair work, slow, patient, overnight work. And there is a specific reason it lives at night rather than the morning. Retinol can be broken down and made less effective by sunlight, and it can make your skin a touch more sensitive to UV when you first start using it. So it does its best, gentlest work while you sleep. And over-the-counter retinol is absolutely the right place to start. Something like the ordinary retinol, 0.2% in squalane, which runs under $10, or the CeraVe resurfacing retinol serum, around $22. Both are real, checkable products at real prices. But please listen to this part closely, because this is where women genuinely hurt their own skin by being in a rush. You start slow, a pea-sized amount, that means a small, small drop, not a generous smear applied 2 nights a week to begin, not every night. Before it ever goes all over your face, you patch test it first. A small dab on your jaw or the inside of your wrist for a couple of nights to see how your skin responds. If your skin goes red, tight, or flaky, you do not push through, you back off. Go slower and give it more time between uses. That is not falling behind. That is simply how this ingredient works with mature skin, and there is no shame in a slower pace. It also goes on properly dry skin, not damp. Wait about 10 minutes after you cleanse before you apply it, because dry skin absorbs retinol more gently and with significantly less irritation than damp skin does. That one timing detail takes a great deal of the sting out of starting. And the prescription strength version tretinoin is a dermatologist decision, not a video's. If you want to go that route, please go have that conversation with a real dermatologist. Step 3 at night, your moisturizer layered right over the retinol. Same $17 tub we used in the morning. Applying your cream over the retinol like this is something dermatologists call buffering, and it does two good things at once. It seals in moisture while your skin sleeps, and it takes most of the sensitivity out of the retinol while your skin is still getting accustomed to it. And do you see how the same logic holds even here at step 3 of the night routine? Thin treatment goes on first, thicker cream goes over the top. The rule never changes. This, by the way, is the real and complete reason the routine splits into morning and night at all. Your vitamin C likes the daylight, working alongside your sunscreen to defend. Your retinol likes the dark, working quietly while you sleep to repair. Keep them on opposite ends of the day, and they each do their job beautifully, and neither one fights the other on your face. And a small, kind, often forgotten fourth step at night, the neglected bits. Whatever moisturizer is left on your hands when you finish your face, do not rinse it off. Carry it straight down your neck, because the neck gets every bit as much sun exposure as the face, and almost none of the same care, and over the backs of your hands, where that thin, crepey, papery skin lives. The backs of the hands, if we are honest, are often the first thing that gives away our age, and they are almost always the last thing we think to moisturize. On the really dry, stubborn spots, heels, elbows, the sides of your fingers, a little plain Vaseline, $3 or $4 at any drugstore, smoothed on at night does as much as anything in a $30 fancy jar. Your skin isn't the enemy, it just needs a kinder hand now, and these quiet little end-of-day gestures are exactly that. Now, some of you own a few other things and are wondering where on earth they slot into all of this. The exfoliating acids, the face oils, the eye creams, the hydrating serums. Let me place them for you quickly, because once you hear the placements, they will all make sense, and the reason for each one is always the same rule. Exfoliating acids, the AHAs like glycolic and lactic acid, and the BHA salicylic acid are thin treatment steps, and they belong at night. However, and this matters, when you are just starting with a retinol, do not use your exfoliating acid on the same nights as your retinol. 2 active treatments on the same night is exactly how sensitive, mature skin gets angry and inflamed. Alternate them across different evenings, go slowly, and let your skin tell you how it is adjusting. A face oil, if you love one, is heavy. It goes near the very end of your night routine after your moisturizer to seal everything in. Never underneath it, because a thick oil applied early will block everything thinner from absorbing properly. An eye cream, if you use one, is applied before your face moisturizer, because the eye area is delicate and you want the treatment closest to the skin there. Though I will be honest, a good face cream patted very gently around the orbital bone with your ring finger does exactly the same job as a separate eye cream for a fraction of the price. And a hydrating serum, the watery hyaluronic acid kind, goes early on damp skin before your moisturizer, thin to thick. Once you truly hold that one rule in your hands, you can place anything the beauty aisle ever tries to sell you. You will never be confused at the shelf again. Let me stop you for a second again, because two practical questions come up every single time I talk about routines, and I want to answer them properly. First, how long do I wait between layers? Not long at all. About a minute is plenty, just long enough for each layer to settle in rather than sit on top of the next one and peel off. You do not need to stand at the mirror timing anything elaborate. The one real exception is your retinol. At night, give your clean skin about 10 minutes to dry fully after you wash before you apply it. Not because the rule changes, but because damp skin absorbs retinol far more aggressively, which is exactly what causes the redness and peeling that puts people off it forever. 10 minutes of patience up front saves a lot of frustration later. Second question, can I combine steps on a rushed morning? Absolutely, yes. A moisturizer with SPF 30 already built in folds two of your morning steps into one, and on the busy days, that is a completely honest and effective shortcut. The best routine in the world is the one you will actually do every day consistently. If simpler means you keep it up, then simpler wins every single time. Now, before I give you the whole map to photograph, one very honest word about what you can leave out of your life entirely, because I never want you walking away from this thinking you need 10 steps, or that the shelf is not full enough, or that you are behind somehow. You are not. You need the right few things in the right order. Skip the toner. For almost everyone over 60, toner serves no real purpose and strips your skin of moisture you spent the whole routine putting back. Skip the separate eye cream, unless you find genuine pleasure in it. Your face cream, patted gently around the eyes, does the same job. And please know this about collagen creams, because it matters, and nobody in the industry is in a hurry to tell you. A cream cannot put collagen back into your skin from the outside. Collagen molecules are far too large to penetrate the surface. A collagen cream hydrates the surface, and it may feel lovely, and that is a real and pleasant thing, but it is not the structural miracle on the packaging, and no cream at any price point reverses aging or erases a wrinkle. What a good, ordered, consistent routine actually does is soften, protect, and keep your skin comfortable and functioning well. And that, genuinely, is a real and worthy thing to do for yourself. Great skin after 60 isn't bought, it's cared for. In one firm word, friend to friend, before we get to the map, please do not put lemon juice or vinegar or baking soda or toothpaste on your face for a spot or a bump or a dark mark, no matter how many videos and comment threads swear by these things. They are acidic or abrasive in ways that are genuinely harsh on thin, mature skin, and I will never show you any of those things here. The internet is full of that advice, and much of it causes real damage. Patch test anything new before it joins your regular routine. And if a spot on your skin ever changes in size, color, or shape, itches, or bleeds, that is not something for a cream or a video. That is a dermatologist appointment. Please go. I am not a doctor, and this is a friend sharing what has worked, not medical advice. If anything on your skin changes in a way that worries you, please take it to a real professional. Your skin isn't the enemy, it just needs a kinder hand now. And sometimes the kindest hand is pointing yourself towards someone who can actually examine it. All right, here is the whole map in one clean place, so you can take a picture of the screen and stop standing at that mirror guessing. In the morning, your defense routine, you cleanse gently or simply rinse with warm water. Then, if you like, 2 drops of vitamin C patted in. Then your moisturizer on skin that is still slightly damp. And finally, always last, always the coat, your broad spectrum SPF 30 or higher, thin to thick sunscreen, last, every single morning. In the evening, your repair routine, you cleanse for real, to take the whole day off, then retinol, slow and patch tested, a pea-sized amount on dry skin, 2 nights a week to start. Then your moisturizer right over the top to buffer and seal. and the leftover cream carried down your neck and across the backs of your hands before you go to bed. The whole Honest shelf, morning and night, comes to well under $100 and lasts you months. There is nothing on this list that is hard to find or impossible to afford. Keep the picture behind the logic, too, because the logic is what makes it stick. The morning defends, the evening repairs. Vitamin C likes the light and works with your sunscreen. Retinol likes the dark and works while you sleep. Thinnest always goes on first, thickest always goes on last. Sunscreen is always, always the coat. Hold those four ideas and you will never be confused at the mirror again, and you will never be sold something you don't need just because you weren't sure where it was supposed to go. Give the whole thing 8 to 12 weeks before you judge any of it. Skin keeps its own quiet clock, and nothing worth having shows up overnight. That is not a warning, it is actually reassuring because it means the small, consistent thing you do every morning and every night is genuinely adding up, even when you cannot see it yet. The changes come slowly, and then one morning you catch your face in the light and something is different. That is not a miracle. That is just time in the right order doing what they do. Your skin isn't the enemy, it just needs a kinder hand now. And it turns out, a kinder hand mostly means the right few things, in the right order, twice a day. You never needed the 10 steps. You never needed the $200 cream. You needed this, and now you have it. Before you go, tell me down in the comments which step tripped you up the longest. Whether the serum goes under or over the moisturizer, whether the retinol belongs to the morning or the night, or whether you've been using sunscreen wrong all these years and this is the first you're hearing it. I read every single comment, and what you tell me shapes exactly what I sit down to make for you next. So do not be shy. Great skin after 60 isn't bought, it's cared for. Be good to your skin this week a little, every day. I'm Dana, and I'll see you at the mirror.